officially going. Okay, so let's get started with class. If we go over to World Studies, you might need to refresh because like right at the end of, right before we started class, I kind of changed some things in the agenda and made links and stuff like that. And so if you need to refresh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing, like things highlighted and stuff like that, it'd be a good thing to refresh your screen really quick on Echo. But today, we got 4 things we're going to do today. We are not going to do a no red ink this week because I didn't want to throw too much at you coming back into the first into the end of the semester and two with kind of being away for 2 weeks. We're going to start kind of just focusing on Romeo and Juliet and kind of finishing up this semester. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is complete a semester reflection assignment. With about a week and a half left in the semester, we're going to kind of reflect on it and think about what we need to do this last week and what our goal is for next semester. The second thing, we're going to download Romeo and Juliet side-by-side text where we're going to actually be reading Romeo and Juliet. Number 3 is we're going to do a Romeo and Juliet intro PowerPoint, which is only like 6 slides, pretty short. And then we're going to do a vocab for Romeo and Juliet assignment, which is due today. Okay, so not a ton to do, but plenty to cover for the class today. So the first thing I want you to do is to go into this assignment. You can just click the link that's on Echo, so you don't have to dig in and find it. So if you click this link, complete the semester reflection assignment. So everybody click on that. Open up the template that is provided to you. So everybody should be doing that right now. And it just says up here, complete the template provided. So open up that template. Go ahead and hit submit. There's nothing wrong with that because it's a Google Doc, and we'll be able to very easily, edit that as you go. So open that template, hit submit my work. And when you open that, it should look like this. It is, a few questions. Shouldn't take much time to do this, but I want you kind of thinking as we go. You're going to be looking at your grade book. So you need this document up, and then you need to go back to Echo, and you need to go to your grade book. And the way you do that, and everyone should know, but I'll just show you again. You go back. In a second, you hit the little pancakes here, and then you go to grade book. And once you pop, I'm not going to click on it because I don't want to show you everybody's grades. But you all should. So you should have your grade book ready, and you should have your first semester reflection ready. Okay. So before we go into this, the first thing I want to say is, and it's kind of in the directions here, our first semester ends January 13th. So that is, I think it's next Wednesday. Is that correct? Let's double check. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, and then you have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, and then we are done with this semester, okay? So when we are done with this semester, pretty much half your grade is locked in, okay? Technically, it's 40% because we have a final, but for simplicity's sake, we're going to say half for now, okay? Because it gets really confusing once you calculate it in a final and things like that. We'll talk about that later. We're going to say half your grade is locked in, okay? Meaning whatever percentage you have, it is locked in for that time period, okay? And this is how high school works. This is how college works. This is how from here on, any education that you do from here on, you usually have a semester that locks in or a point in which it locks in, and then, you'll go from there. So our first semester comes in end on January 13th. Okay, for this assignment, you will reflect on your grades for the first semester and plan out how you finished the last week and the first of the first semester and begin the second semester. So you have until Wednesday of next week until the end of the semester. So I'm going to say you don't want to wait until Wednesday to complete stuff because that's when the semester ends. So your goal should be by this Friday. If there is anything that you're missing that is a big grade or you want to improve your grade, by this Friday, it should be your goal. Don't wait until Wednesday. Okay, and hopefully you've been doing that for weeks, but there are a few of you all that's been procrastinating, and this is your opportunity. Okay, so our first semester comes in on 13th. So the first question, and a lot of these are very quick. We're going to do this together right now. Okay, so the first question is, what is your current grade percentage? Okay, and I'm actually going to open up a my fake student account. So give me just a second. And that way you can, this isn't a real student. This is my fake student. So it's going to say my name, but I'll show you exactly where this is. And I've just given them like this fake account. I've given them credit on some things and some I haven't given them credit on some things, and made them a very middle of the road student. So I'm going to make this student the fake student, okay? So they currently have we're going to round up, a 75%. So that is where you'll find your grade, top left-hand corner. That's everything added together, 75%, okay? So I'm going to go back to first semester, and I'm going to write in 75%, okay? And that's all you have to write. That's your current grade, okay? And that is a C, okay? If you want to write the letter grade, but the percentage is really what you want. And if you don't know, and you should, but 60 to 70, or anything below a 60% is an F, okay? So you fail the class. Anything from 60 to 70 is a D, 70 to 80 is a C, 80 to 90 is a B, and then 90 to 100 is an A. That's our grading scale, okay? So what is the grade or is this the grade you want, okay? So if I was this student, I would say no. And if this is not the grade that you want, what grade do you want? I wanted to have let's say they wanted a B, okay? I wanted to have a 85% in the class, okay? So very simple. You're just kind of like taking a moment, it should be just taking a moment to like think, is this what I wanted? What did I really want? What was my goal? I'm kind of, this isn't where I wanted to be. If you're at like a 69 or a 68 or a 78 or a 58, then you're only a couple of percentages away. You could definitely move that up in the next week if you get work turned in, okay? Obviously, the higher the grade you have, the harder to do that. But if you are down in like the 58s, 57s, and you're almost passing, very easy for you to get it brought up if you just get some of this work done that you're missing, okay? But, you're just taking, for a second, I wish I would have had an 85 for the semester. Explain why you have this grade. What is the reason that you have this grade? So if I was this student, again, fake student account, this isn't a real student, but this is something that y'all might have. I would look through and say, well, why do I have this grade? And I start looking down. I'm like, oh, okay. I missed a lot of assignments, okay? I didn't miss all of them. And for this fake student, it's either 100% or 0. So I just threw in grades. So this isn't really, really accurate because they either have 100, and no one probably has 100% on every single assignment in their grade book. Maybe a few of you do, but not every single student. But my big issue is that I missed assignments. Maybe this 2-week period or 3-week period, I had a bad thing happen at home, or, I just wasn't motivated, or something happened. Again, this is a fake student, so y'all's might not look like this. But this student would go in and basically explain that they are missing assignments. They didn't do what they wanted. This happened, and basically explain what happened. Why do you have this assignment? Now, if you have a 90 or a 100 in this class or doing really well, you can explain, I got all my work done. I did a great job. I did what I was supposed to do. I've been showing up to class. I've been doing this. But this is just your time. Write 3 or 4 sentences and explain why you did this. Another place to look, and then I'm going to be quiet and let you all write. Another place you can look is up at the top, and you can say, well, what am I struggling in? Okay, knowledge and thinking, this student has an 82, okay? Written communication, a D-. So that's a big one. Maybe I would reflect on the fact that my written communication grade's low and I'm missing assignments in that. Or my agency, like clearly I haven't been turning in assignments. My grade's very low in agency. Collaboration, I've done great. Oral communication, I did well. So take a moment. I'm going to give you all like 3 minutes to kind of write a few sentences on that. So I'm just going to pause and be quiet and let y'all write that, okay? All right, so that was a couple minutes. I think that was enough time for you all. I think I gave you 2 minutes. I said 3, but 2, it felt like it was long enough. So the next question says, what grade do you want for the whole year? Okay, so this isn't just next semester. This is the entire year, okay? So for this student, they want a B, okay? So I'm going to say at minimum, they want an 80%, okay? because they said, oh, no, I wanted a 85 in the class. So we're going to say 80%, okay? And to get a 90% from a 75 would be very difficult, maybe even mathematically impossible. Yeah, it'd be actually mathematically impossible. But so an 80. So I'm looking to get up to the next grade level. So I'm going to put 80%. That's all you have to put is what you wanted. And then we're going to go down. So I'll let you think for 10 seconds on that. Put the grade that you want for the year. So if you want an A, you want to put at least a 90%. You want a B, you want to put at least an 80%. If you want a C, 70. Hope no one's shooting for a D or an F, obviously. Hopefully most of you are shooting for A, B range. But I understand if the first semester was challenging, maybe you're like, I just want to pass, or I want to, get a C. I understand. But this student, I'm going to put 80%. Okay, so then we have a little mathematical equation. You didn't know in your English social studies class you're going to do math today. But it's pretty simple if you follow along, okay? So the first thing is you're going to multiply your current grade. So this is going to calculate what you need for the second semester, okay? To kind of put your mind in the spot, like if I'm going to hit my goal of getting a B or an A or whatever, what grade do I have to get, okay? So you're going to multiply your current grade by 0.5. So my current grade is that first number up top, okay? So I'm going to take 75. So this is just for me. And you'll need a calculator. You can do it online or grab your phone or something like that, or a calculator if you have it at home. So I'm going to times that by 0.5. You can also divide it by 2 either way, but it's 50% of your grade. So that number that I get for mine is 37.5, but you will have something different, maybe, most likely. So times that your grade you currently have by 0.5. That'll give you your number you have right here. And then take that number. So I'm going to take that number right there and subtract it from your goal grade for the year. So my goal grade was an 80. So I'm going to take 80 minus that number. And I'm going to get this number, but y'all get a different number. Okay. Take your goal grade and subtract that grade, or that number. So your goal grade, that's right there, and subtract that number from it, and that'll write that number right there. So mine's 42.5. And then take that number and multiply it by 2. Okay? And that number that I got is an 85. Okay? 85%. And that is the grade you will need for the second semester. So first semester, I have a 75, and I want to get an 80 for the second semester. I need an 85 at minimum for the second semester if it's 50-50. Now, obviously, we'll have the final that'll come into play, but we're not going to think about that right now because that's pretty complex. So we're just thinking about if semesters are 50-50, what do I need? So I would need an 85% for second semester, okay? So once you figure that out, you're going to submit this, okay? Now I'll go through that math one more time, okay? So multiply, and I'm going to change the numbers, okay? So I can do a different, let's say that I'm failing the class. Let's say I have a 55% in the class, an F, okay? And I want for the whole year, let's say I just want to, let's say it's even worse. I'm just going to go worse. So let's say I have a 50%. And for the year, I want a 60%, okay? I want to be able to pass a class. Okay. Now, if you're math brain, you know that the answer is 70. Okay. I need a 70 for the second semester, but let's figure that out. Okay. So multiply your current grade by 0.5. So if I have a 50 in the class, that means that I put a 25. And then take that number and subtract it from your goal grade. So 60 minus 25 is 35. I shouldn't use a calculator, but I did. So 35, and then take that number and multiply it by 2. So 35 times 2 is I need a 70% to be able to pass the class. Okay? So if I have a 50, and I want to get a 60 for the class, I have to have a 70-second semester. So essentially, this is showing how much better you need to do second semester, okay, to be able to get the goal grade you have, okay? Some of y'all might be sitting there going, I have 100, and I'm okay with a 90. Maybe I can, what's my minimum grade? But hopefully you're not shooting down. Okay. Anyways, so take that and go over and make sure that you had submitted it. And this was the fake student. So make sure you hit submit. If you are done, we are going to head over to back to our agenda. And we're going to do our second thing, which is load. So we're going to download the Romeo and Juliet side-by-side text, okay? I'm going to give everybody a second to get to the title screen, the agenda here, main screen. So we're here on the agenda, and we are looking at our next thing. We're going to download the Romeo and Juliet side-by-side text. So to get there, you're going to go to the persuasive technology, which should be right up top, or you can scroll down. I don't know why all of this is open. Scroll down to persuasive technology, and then there is a folder in that persuasive technology called Romeo and Juliet, okay? So go find that folder and open that folder up. And one of my goals this semester is to slow down. And again, if you are faster than we are, you can work ahead. I'm okay with that. So once you have that folder open, you're going to find the Romeo and Juliet side-by-side text, okay? If you click on that, that will take you to this page. And then you're going to click, and I'm not worried about mark this activity complete. If you go ahead and do it, I'm not sure why that's there. Ms. Carvonen last year set this up. So I'm not sure why that's there. But you have a PDF here. Click on that PDF. I'm going to click on it. And it is going to download a PDF for you. Okay? And then open up that PDF. And it should look like this. Okay? Now, this is a 300-page document, okay? Now, the reason this is so long is because it does both the old modern English and the contemporary English of Romeo and Juliet. So Romeo and Juliet isn't actually a 300-page play, but it does both, so it like almost doubles, if not even more, how long the play really is. So I'm going to give you a second to make sure that's opened up. And then at the top, I want you to download by hitting that download button, okay? Just make sure it's saved. It should have already downloaded. It should be in your download file. But I just want that available to you so you don't have to download it every day, okay? So you just go to your little folder there, and it's available to you, okay? So make sure you've opened that. I'm going to give you a second, make sure everybody has it. I also have to plug in my computer because it's dying. All right. So we're going to take just a second to look at this and just to be familiar that we have it. I didn't want to wait until tomorrow whenever we're going to start. We're actually going to start reading tomorrow. If anyone had issues, I wanted to hear today so I could figure out what to do. But so if you can't open this or it's not working, you need to let me know now so I can figure out something for tomorrow, okay? So I'm not hearing anything from anyone. Let's look at Go Guardians looking good. Okay, so everyone should have that up. And, I know you're not watching my screen right now. You should be on your Shakespeare Romeo and Juliet reading. So at the top, if you take your cursor and take it to the top of that document, you should see a little bar drop down that tells you what page you're on. And it says like it says the number out of 302, okay? So fine, if you want to come back over to the Google Meet and look at what I'm looking at, I'm circling it right now, but you should be able to find it. That is how I'm going to tell you what page we're on. We're not going to try to use the page that's actually written on the paper because it's really hard to see and some of them aren't even numbered, okay? So we're going to use that number. So I want you to type in 16, okay? So you can click on that and go to page 16. You can type it or you can just scroll down until you get to page 16. So it's 16 out of 302. I'm going to look at GoGuardian and make sure people are able to do that. And my computer's going slow because I'm trying to do so much stuff at one time. But go down to page 16 out of 302, okay? So everything, this is the first part of the play. Everything before this is kind of like characters and introduction, but this is what I wanted to show you first, okay? And we're not going to read everything today. I'm just introducing the text to you, okay? But if you see a black box around the text, that is Old Modern English, okay? And it's called a lot of different things like Shakespearean English and just Old English, but the technical term is Old Modern English, which sounds weird because modern sounds like it's today, but it's not. It's Old Modern. And if you read it, so we're going to read this first part just to look at it. You can zoom in by hitting the plus sign. I'm going to zoom in on it. But it would read, two households both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth that fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. So you can see that this is a very different way of speaking or writing that we're used to, okay? We're not going to read Romeo and Juliet in the Old Modern English, okay? Now, whenever you get into like sophomore, junior, senior year, you all might dive into some Shakespeare or other literature that's written in this format. But for freshman year, we're not going to do that. If you scroll down to the next page, so that would be page 17, that is in a contemporary English, contemporary modern English, which is today, okay, how we would speak today, okay? So reading the same thing that was on the other page, it would sound like this in contemporary English. In the beautiful city of Verona, where our story takes place, a long-standing hatred between two families erupts into new violence, and citizens stain their hands with the blood of their fellow citizens. So you can see the prologue is much easier to understand in the contemporary English, okay? So, and then it goes back and forth. So the next one, when the actual play begins, will be in the modern Old English, and then the next one will actually be the same scene, same page, but in the contemporary English, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. We'll be looking at that tomorrow and reading over it tomorrow, but I want to introduce the text. Anyone having trouble opening that document, now is the time to let me know, okay? You can send me a message in GoGuardian, or you can say it right now. Anyone have any issues?
I'm having issues getting to the thing.
So Wyatt, is the PDF just not opening for you? Or?
It's just not opening.
Okay, so hang on. At the end of the Google Meet, you and I will meet. I could even get you a special copy or something like that. So hang on. And if anyone else runs into that, hang on to the end of the meeting. We'll talk and we'll make a plan. Okay, Wyatt?
All right.
Okay, awesome. Anyone else? Thank you, Wyatt. Anyone else? All right, going once, going twice, sold. If you do have issues with it, you need to let me know, okay? So let's go back to Echo, because we're kind of done with that for today. The next thing I want to do is go over this introduction PowerPoint. And actually, we're going to do the introduction PowerPoint tomorrow, okay? I am going to go ahead and let you start on the vocab, okay? Because we talked at the beginning of class for a long time, and we're actually going to skip the PowerPoint for now. We'll do that tomorrow because I want to give you plenty of time to do the vocab and then I want plenty of time to reach out to people. And really, if you get the vocab done quickly, you can go back and start working on bringing up your grade if you're missing any of those assignments. So let's look at this vocab for Romeo and Juliet. So we're skipping the PowerPoint for now. We're going to do that tomorrow, and that'll work because we're going to read tomorrow. This is due today. I don't know why it says 12:59 a.m. I'm going to change that really quick. And I forgot to record. So on this, we are going to be taking these words and creating kind of a vocabulary sheet on it, okay? So if you go down and you open up the template, go ahead and hit submit, because don't forget to hit submit, because it's a Google slide. You can edit it as you go. So I'll give you all a second to do that. And then we're going to jump over to and open up that template. And it should look like this. First slide says Romeo and Juliet vocab terms. And the first word is pernicious. And if you already know the term to this, you can write it out on your own, You know it's an adjective, and you know the definition, and you can do it on your own. That's fine. But what we're going to do is I'm going to make this really easy, because I just want you to get familiar with, and really our goal is that when you were doing the reading, when you hit a word you don't know, you would go do this yourself, okay? But we're going to do it pre-reading so that we can kind of practice doing this. So you all have looked up terms before, but I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to copy the word here, and I'm going to go out to the internet. I'm just going to use Google, and I'm going to look up define. I'm going to paste the word pernicious. First, am I saying it right? Pernicious. Yeah, pernicious. I'm saying it right. And then I have the part of speech it is. So it's an adjective. And then it says the definition, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. And then right below that, it has an example sentence. The pernicious influence of the mass media. So it means to have a harmful effect, okay? And usually it's a slow, harmful effect. So I'm going to highlight all of that, the adjective, the definition, the sentence. I'm going to hit copy. You double-click it if you want, copy. And then I'm going to go back. And because this is just a study sheet, I'm okay with you copy and pasting, okay? Obviously, it might help you to learn it in a better way, to write it out yourself. But because you're just going to be doing reading, and you're going to look up the word really quick to understand the meaning, we can just copy and paste it, okay? And then we're going to go and find a picture that means this. So I'm going to think of what is something that is harmful, and especially a gradual, subtle way. So something that pops out in my mind is like poison, okay? It slowly makes you sick and you die. So it's just an image. Cigarettes would be fine. Whatever you want to put, just obviously it needs to be school appropriate. But for this word, putting cigarettes on there is school appropriate. But obviously you wouldn't want to put something really derogatory or something bad on there. But yeah, cigarettes would be a great thing to put on here, okay? And you could use that in a sentence. The cigarettes were pernicious to the person's health, okay? But you're just looking for a picture. So let's do insert. I'm going to do poison, okay? So the easy way to do this is to click in the box, go to insert at the top, go to images, and then search the web, okay? I'll show you that again. Click in the box, insert, go to images, and then search the web. You can obviously go to Google and do it, and I've already done this because I was practicing on my example, but you type it in, so poison, and then there's all of our images, and you just pick one of these, okay? I like the school one that, says poison on it. So click on that one, and then insert, and then it will create an image, insert it. Obviously, that's too big, so I need to downsize it, and there's my image, okay? I'm not worried about you editing this to make it look beautiful. This is fine, as long as you can read it and it makes sense. So this can be quick. There are 20 terms. So you're going to spend about a minute on each creating these. So about 20 minutes. We've got 35 minutes left in class. So you have plenty of time to get this done. So about 20 minutes to create this, and then take like 10 minutes to look over it, okay? So I'm going to end there. I'm going to come